Good evening, Mr. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Well, I'm awesome.
Okay. Well, we'll just get to the bottom of that, shall we?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, first I want to let you know that everything that you share with me today will be completely confidential. Unless, of course, I hear anything about you wanting to harm yourself or other people, I have to take that very seriously, and I have to report that as a mandated reporter. However, if it does come to that, we'll stop then and we'll just address it as we go.
You're very professional, thank you, yeah.
Sounds good. So what brings you in to see me today?
Well, it's not really a big deal, but my wife, Mrs. Awesome, she thinks I've got a problem with spiders. But I'm telling her, and I'm sure you'll agree, it's purely logical.
Okay. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
I don't know. They're spiders, so obviously most dangerous things on Earth, right? Yeah.
So, what is it about these spiders that make you feel that they're so dangerous?
Well, I mean, being such an affluent member of society, I watched some nature Animal Planet show or something. It was like 3 years ago, but had an article on the 10 most dangerous spiders, and I was very astute in noticing that none of them live in Minnesota yet.
Okay.
But they could, like, any time, because apparently spiders are, like, everywhere. So that's why, being such a responsible homeowner, I have taken to getting our entire house debugged, like, once a month.
Okay, wow, that sounds very costly.
Well, it's worth it to keep my family, Mrs. Awesome, and all the kids.
Little Awesome.
Little Awesome. Good to keep Little Awesome safe, yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad you understand.
Yeah. So what other kind of behaviors have come about since these spiders have been of concern?
Not really sure what you're asking.
Okay, so you shared with me that you debugged your house with exterminators a few times.
Absolutely.
Any other behaviors to prevent these spiders from...
Well, you know, just the basics. Like I spray myself with bug repellent before I go to bed, because that's one of the places that my wife won't. That's one of the things I can't get rid of, because my wife likes the bed. So we gotta. I just make sure that I'm not going to be getting bit anytime, because did you know that you eat 8 spiders like a day or something? Like when you go to sleep?
Per year.
Oh no, man, it's definitely every day.
8 spiders per day.
But I'm safe because I use my bug repellent responsibly.
And how does that make Mrs. Awesome feel when you're spraying yourself?
She hates it.
She hates it. Okay.
Yeah, she thinks it smells bad, but she doesn't understand that it's a matter of smell or death.
Okay. All right. So let's go back 3 years ago before this nature show you watched. Did you have any fear of spiders before then, or?
I was uneducated at the time.
Okay.
I'm glad to say that, continuing with my tradition of being awesome, I have educated myself on spiders.
Okay. So no irrational fears or worries before the program you watched?
Well, you know, I mean, there's these times when I think that people think I'm not awesome,
Okay.
so I've got to do something awesome to prove that I'm awesome. And honestly, it led me to changing my name. I mean, obviously, I had to really show people how awesome I was.
So Awesome is not your original name?
No, it's Marvin.
Marvin. Okay. So Rex Marvin?
It was actually Marvin Jones, but
Marvin Jones.
now it's Rex Awesome.
That is an awesome name.
I know. I'm glad you agree.
And then you changed your whole family's name as well.
Well, she married into the Awesome name.
Oh, okay. So this was a while ago you
Yeah,
became
absolutely.
Awesome. Okay.
During college.
Sure. All right. So tell me more about your relationship with Mrs. Awesome. How's that? Have you found that there's been more turmoil since you started these anti-bug regimens?
Well, it's true, but she just, like I said, she doesn't quite understand exactly how dangerous spiders can be. I mean, what if the world were deprived of such an awesome family because of some puny little spider?
Yeah.
and it's deadly poison, which would not be awesome.
That would not be awesome at all. Okay. So you would say that there's been a little rift.
Absolutely. She's kind of pulling away, and it's upsetting me, but it's not interrupting my level of awesomeness.
Okay, well, as long as that's not being disrupted.
Yes.
And what about the kids? How's your relationship with them?
Well, I'd say little Timmy, he understands exactly what
Timmy
this is all about. Timmy Awesome,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, he really knows what this spider stuff is all about. And I'm glad I can teach little Timmy about the dangers of spiders, but Sarah Jones, well,
Sarah Jones Awesome?
she took my first name.
Oh, okay.
And it was my wife's idea. Never mind. So little Sarah Jones, she just doesn't understand. She's too concerned with things like reading and math and even gym. It's good that she's into gym. I mean, but she needs to understand that there's things out there that can threaten how awesome or how Jones you can be.
Mm-hmm. So is that what this is? Are the spiders really a threat to your awesomeness as opposed to being dangerous?
What are you asking me?
Well, you just said that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there are things in this world that can take away from your family's awesomeness.
Very true.
And that's what these spiders are out to do.
Yeah, I definitely would say that dying from a spider bite would not be awesome. Mm-hmm. And I feel that sometimes inside my inner feelings, they're telling me that I'm not awesome, and I want to prove to my inner feelings that I am awesome.
You are awesome.
You feeling me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feeling me?
I'm feeling you a lot.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so, and I'm just trying to understand here. So there is a real threat here with these spiders. You feel like they are dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
They can kill you.
Death a couple times.
Yes.
So you feel that they're harmful to you and your family.
Theoretically.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go into some background questions, if you don't mind. Have you ever received mental health treatment before?
Never. No mental health treatment. This is, and honestly, I wouldn't be now, but Mrs. Awesome.
Mrs. Awesome.
She's insisting mental health treatment for inner feelings.
Okay. So you've never seen a therapist or a psychiatrist, never taken any mental health medication?
No, ma'am.
And any family history of mental disturbances or mental illness?
Well, my grandfather, he took after
Grandfather Awesome.
Grandfather Awesome.
Okay.
Grandfather Jones, but
Jones.
Grandfather Awesome.
Okay.
You see, he took after someone I like to call Emperor Nero. He was from Rome, and there's this thing called neurosis that Grandpa Awesome was definitely a thing of. He had a lot of neurosis in him.
Okay. And when you say neurosis, what does that mean to you?
Well, the way I picture it is that his inner awesome wasn't living up to what his outer awesome wanted to be.
Oh.
And he really struggled. He often made me come to his theater and baseball performances to prove to me how awesome he was, but I didn't need that because I knew he was awesome.
Okay. So, do you feel like maybe that's who you got your awesomeness from?
Oh no, I am my own awesome.
You were born awesome.
Yes, I am awesome all the time.
Okay, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. And then, do you have a primary care physician that you see for your medical health?
Absolutely. I like to call him Dr. Awesome
Dr.
or
Awesome.
Awesome's doctor.
Okay. And you see him pretty regularly, would you say?
Well, whenever I'm feeling a little low, or maybe my muscles aren't as awesome as they could be.
When's the last time you saw Dr. Awesome?
Oh, about a month ago. He says I've got this thing called hyperthyroidism, but I don't know what that is. He says it makes my metabolism work faster, and I say more muscles for me.
Okay. So he gave you a diagnosis of hyperthyroidism.
Well, that's what he said. I don't know what that means, though.
Okay. Did he prescribe any medication for that or any treatment?
Well, he wanted to, but I told him to hold off a little bit.
Okay. So no medication or treatment at this time?
None yet, because I don't need it.
Okay. And you haven't been feeling any symptoms from that? Did he talk to you about it?
Well, he says that I'm going to be sensitive to heat and possibly over-aggressive and have too much energy.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think that's true. And besides, it's the middle of winter. I'm saving the heat bill by bringing the house down to 60 degrees.
Okay. That's awesome.
It also prevents spider attacks.
Keeping the house cold prevents spider attacks.
Absolutely.
I did not know that. Okay. And then, and I have to ask this, I ask this to all my patients, any substance abuse or alcohol abuse in your home?
Well, is this one of those things that you have to tell people if I tell you?
No, absolutely not. Remember, I said everything would be confidential.
Right. You see, me and the guys down at the gym, we put these things in our drinks. It's supposed to make you have more muscles. They're called steroids.
Okay.
And it's one of the things that I use to help display my outer awesome.
Mm-hmm. And when you say you put them in your drinks, they're alcoholic drinks? Or?
Well, not really alcohol. Alcohol is for the bar.
Okay. Okay, so you're just mixing them in with your...
Protein!
Okay, steroids. All right. And then how often are you drinking alcohol, would you say?
I drink some alcohol maybe once, twice a week.
Once or twice a week.
Just out on the town with my buddies. But I always make sure to check if the health department has given the particular bar a clean code of health. I want to make sure I'm not going to get attacked by a spider in my alcohol.
So you check the bar that you're going to with the health department to make sure that there aren't any spider threats.
Correct.
Okay. And you don't mind if I take notes, do you?
Oh, absolutely
This is just
not.
to jog my memory later
Please,
on.
I understand that in the presence of someone so awesome as
I have to get all that awesomeness down on paper.
it may be important for further reference.
Yes, and you are absolutely right. Okay. And then, let's go back to your childhood. Tell me more about that, besides the time you spent with your grandfather.
All right. Well, you see, my dad, he's what I like to call a nerd.
Okay.
But he's a scientist of some sort. Does like neurochemical biological systems management.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
That's a mouthful.
Absolutely. I choose not to boggle my mouth with such words.
Because they're not awesome.
They are too long.
Okay.
Now, I myself pursued much more manly sports, manly pursuits when I was in school. I was captain and quarterback of the football team, as well as the soccer team. People ask me, why are you a quarterback on a soccer team? I said, because somebody needs to throw that ball.
So you were a quarterback on a soccer team?
Absolutely self-appointed.
Whoa, I've never heard of that position before.
Not many have.
That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
And how were your grades? It sounds like you were pretty athletic, but how was the academic side?
Well, some of my teachers seemed to disagree on what the answers were, but I would often set them straight by referencing such people as Jesus, who knew everything about anything that was important.
That he did. Okay, so would you say you got good grades?
I would say I did.
Let me rephrase. Would your report card reflect that you got good grades?
Well, the grades that I received were of a passing nature, but my father seemed to be disappointed.
Okay.
I never understood why.
Okay. And you graduated from high school?
Absolutely.
Did you go on to college, Mr. Awesome?
I did. I majored in football, running, and sports,
You majored in running?
as well as sports psychology.
Oh, okay, sports psychology. Okay. And you grew up here in the Twin Cities?
I did my entire life.
Okay. Where did you go to college?
I went to college at the Twin Cities.
Me too.
Excellent. That is awesome.
That is awesome. Okay, major And then when did you meet your wife, Mrs. Awesome?
My wife, Mrs. Awesome, and I met up in college. She was taking classes in child psychology. And I remember the first thing I said, I walked up to her and said, "I see you're taking some psychology classes. I am too, with a minor in pain."
Minor in pain. Okay. And then with that awesome degree, what did you do after graduating?
I traveled around the country searching for random pro league football places that would like my input. Unfortunately, they all required some sort of experience. So I coached football at my old high school. They were glad to have me, especially when we went to state.
Okay. Did you go to state pretty often with that team?
Every year,
Nice.
except for 1 year. But I showed them. Those kids had to run more than anyone ever.
Okay. That's awesome.
But absolutely, they had to learn what awesome was.
And I'm sure you showed them.
Next year, we went to state.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, let's see. To get back to these spiders here.
Maybe we could avoid talking about spiders for a little longer.
Does that make you uncomfortable to talk about them?
It does.
Okay.
Has this building been properly inspected for spiders?
I don't know if there's been a proper bug inspection. There wasn't an inspection. I just don't know if it was bug related. But I don't see bugs here.
I prefer at least a 10-to-1 human to spider ratio in any building I'm in.
I can honestly tell you I've never seen any bugs here. Does that put you at ease a little bit? Or?
It does.
Okay.
And I appreciate your input.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Glad you understand.
Okay.
I have no idea, but I can tell you that you have covered most of the bases that are required.
Okay. So would you say I'm a pretty awesome therapist?
Absolutely. You have my full confidence.
Okay. I do want to ask you, and this is something that I ask all of my clients as well, what are you looking to gain from treatment?
My wife hopes to gain a further acceptance of my environment. I hope to gain the further acceptance of my wife.
Okay. So you want to make your wife happy?
Absolutely. I want to make our relationship awesome.
Okay. And I know I've been saying this a lot, but that's pretty awesome.
I appreciate your input.
So do you want to meet again, Mr. Awesome?
If it is so required through your therapeutic expertise.
Okay, I would say so. It seems like we could address some more things in later sessions.
Understood.
All right. I will see you next time. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Doctor.